Okay, hello ladies and gentlemen. Let's make sure everything's all good and dandy before we do anything. Hold on a second. Excuse me. I gotta make sure everything's all good here. There you go. Alright. Okay, so today is the day we finally finish off Justice for All. It's been a wild ride trying to trying to complete the game. But we are finally here, and it is finally time to end what is regarded by many in the fan base to be the one of, if not the best cases in the entire game series. So without further ado, let's begin. Hey. Oh, wait. How did I get into this mess? That's far enough. You can't run forever, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Oh hey, we're ending the game exactly the way we started. What have I done wrong? I cannot allow you to go on like this. But I'm just a simple defense attorney. Silence! You are no longer worthy of your title. I've had this dream before, someplace, some time ago, as if this day was written into my destiny. Today I'll stand in court as a lawyer to prove a killer innocent. March 23rd, 9:43 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 3. Hello, this is Phoenix Wright. You don't look so well, dude. You're gonna prove me not guilty today, right? If you please, Mr. Lawyer. Remember, it's not just me. Your precious friend's life is riding on today's verdict, too. Now listen up. You'd better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag and not guilty, I'll never forgive you, ever! Maya. Phoenix. Phoenix! Mia! Maya! How's Maya? I don't know. You don't know? She hasn't tried to channel me since yesterday. Mia, what am I supposed to do? Well, like I said, for a lawyer, the worst of times are when you have to force your biggest smiles. But you can't give up. There's still some hope left. Stop it, please! There's nothing left. Not here, not anywhere. It's that accursed stun guard again. Will you leave me alone? Look, don't call me anymore. I mean it. You're really mean, pal. Don't you? I'm really, really sorry. Where are you? They let me join the investigation team, and we're chasing after the killer, pal. Then you have some sort of lead? Sorry, but right now, We've got 0 leads on the guy. But we're not going to give up. Come. Sorry, family. No, I'm kind of going crazy. If they keep that up, I might have to check to see what they're barking at. Gumshoe. Until the trial is over, until the verdict is handed down, we're gonna do everything we can and find the killer. If we can get Maya out, then you can get Ungar the guilty verdict he deserves, pal. That's true. I could do that if they found Maya first. You got that? So you have to do whatever you can to make the trial last longer. I have to make the trial last longer? If you do it, Edgeworth, Mr. Edgeworth, with everything you've got, then you two can draw it out. Oh, now I get it. I believe in you, pal. You and Mr. Edgeworth can do it. So, believe in us. We're gonna give it all we've got, just like you. Got it. Thanks, Gumshoe. Hey, Phoenix. You understand now, don't you? You have something money will never be able to buy. Friendship. It's the strongest weapon in the world and you have it in abundance. Yeah. Looks like we're coming to the end. I have to make the trial last as long as I can. Gumshoe will come through. I know it. March 23rd, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on God. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. The mystery being what exactly was Miss Adrian Andrews' role in this murder? That is to say, is she really connected to the crime itself? Mr. Edgeworth, if you would please inform the court of today's proceedings. Adrian Andrews. She forged evidence that threw suspicion onto Mr. Ungard, and then proceeded to escape the crime scene by wearing a nickel samurai costume. The guilt of these actions are those from which she cannot escape. And you're saying that she is guilty after all? I'm not finished, Your Honor. Miss Andrews has nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I would like to direct the court's attention to this card. What is that? It looks like a shell. This is the calling card of a sentinel assassin. Assassin, you say? Yes, Juan Corrino was killed by a professional assassin. And the person who hired the assassin, his client so to speak, is Matt Ungard. What a surprising turn of events! I would think it's become commonplace by now, Your Honor. I know what's going on this time, so I know that everything Edgeworth has said is true. But we still have to hold out as long as we can, at least until Maya is safe and sound. I wonder how the trial will turn out today. Now then, please call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls the defendant's mentor, Mr. Will Powers, to the stand. Now then, witness, your name and occupation, please. Okay. I'm, Will Powers. I'm a poor, underpaid action star. And what is your relation to the defendant? Well, I guess I'm sort of a lousy mentor to him in a way. Yeah. Mr. Powers, please. You don't need to put yourself down so much. Oh, sorry. Well, but I'm just kind of a nothing sort of guy. On the night of the murder, you visited the defendant's room. Is this correct? Yes. I didn't know that. But you know, I didn't actually go to see Matt when I went. All you need to do is answer what you're asked. Now then, I would like you to please testify about when you went to Mr. Ungod's room. Okay, sure. Witness testimony. Visit to Matt's room. After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in his nickel samurai costume. He was talking with someone. At first I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I had Jess with me that night, and I couldn't make them wait for me. Nothing sounds out of place in Mr. Powers' testimony. And talking with the bellboy is no big deal. If one assumes that the person Mr. Ungod was speaking with was an ordinary bellboy, what are you implying? Well, Mr. Wright, let's have your cross-examination, shall we? Looks like we're in another sticky situation. Huh? A trap. Can't you smell it, Phoenix? But for us to find out more, we're just gonna have to charge in head first, right? Cross-examination. Visit to Matt's room. After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. The defendant's room? Why did you go there? Well, I'm his mentor. I'm the big brother, sort of. And I wanted to say congrats. What's wrong? Why did you stop? Mr. Wright! What is it? You're going to try to trick me into a corner, aren't you? Huh? I know I'm just a poor underpaid action star, but I'm not the killer! No one said you were, Mr. Powers. No, please, don't trick me! Every time you do your warrior thing, the witness suddenly turns into the bad guy. Every time? Witness, I will personally talk to the defense at a later time. So for now, please kindly cooperate and continue with your testimony. Sorry. So you went to the defendant's room, and then? Hey, wait a minute, when the hell did I suddenly turn into the bad guy here? Are you sure that was Matt on guard? Yeah, I'm sure. He wasn't wearing the nickel samurai mask then. If that's the case, then it really can't be mistaken. And? What was the defendant doing, standing in front of his own room? He was talking with someone. At first I thought it was the bellboy. At first? What do you mean by that? Well, he was in a bellboyish uniform and he had a bottle of juice on a tray. Sounds like an ordinary bellboy to me. Yeah, but I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. And why was that? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Sorry, but I don't remember right now. Sorry. I guess I'm gonna have to wait patiently on this one. You saw the two of them, the bellboy and the defendant, together, correct? Yeah, the bellboy was just wanting to say congrats. Now while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange? You know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. A tip? But that's a perfectly normal thing to do. So how long did you watch the two of them? Nothing more than a minute or two, I think. I had guests with me that night and I couldn't make them wait for me. So who are these guests you're talking about? You guys, of course. You and Maya and Little Pearl. I thought it would be really rude since I invited you guys, but I disappeared on you. So I went back to my seat pretty soon after seeing Matt in the hallway. This is like squeezing water from a stone. It's probably pointless to press further. Do you remember this incident? Did Mr. Paz leave a seat that night? I don't remember that happening at all. Maya was making such a racket in her hyper state, I ended up focusing on her. I see. In any case, from his story, he probably wasn't gone for very long. After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. At first, what do you mean by that? I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. And why was that? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Hey, wait a second. Actually, Mr. Powers, only a few minutes ago you stated, you know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. Could it be that you felt something strange about the tip-giving incident itself? Yeah, that's it. You really know your job. Mr. Edgewater. Yes, Your Honor? This bellboy, he wasn't an ordinary one, was he? Perhaps we should let the witness tell us. Very well. Mr. Powers, please amend your testimony. You mean about the bellboy, right? Matt gave the bellboy a tip. So he gave the bellboy a tip. What's so strange about that? Oh, well, you see, Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I was trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me. How much it was? But that's when something even more surprising happened. The bellboy was putting the tip he got in his pocket. And that's when I got my first good look at the guy's face. I was really shocked. I'm afraid I don't follow at all. It sounds like Mr. Powers is surprised twice by this event. I wonder which of his shocking moments I should ask about. The defendant is a huge star. You can afford to give generous tips, wouldn't you agree? Sure. But giving him that much was maybe a little too much, I think. A little too much? Would you please clarify for the court about how much you would say the defendant gave to the bellboy? Honestly, I don't know. I can't even begin to guess. And why is that? Because he gave the bellboy a really, really fat roll of cash. A roll of cash?! Oh, well, how interesting. That certainly was a very generous tip, wasn't it? A very fat roll of cash. That could hardly be called a tip, Your Honor. The judge is beginning to look awfully suspicious of us. Objection! The defendant is a superstar. That kind of tip is typical fare for people like him. Are you saying that all superstars are super spenders? If I could receive a large rolls of cash by simply bringing people things on trays, then why on earth would I stand around here prosecuting? It's got a point. I don't even get paid, let alone rolls of cash for all my hard work. So supposing that roll of cash was not a tip, then what was it? Payment, Your Honor. Payment? Isn't it obvious? The murder of Juan Corrida. Then, the news of bellboy the witness saw. Yes, it was the assassin. Judge. Wait, hold on. Wait, why did I say judge? I've never said the characters' names before until now, but okay, whatever. Oh, the horses now. Mr. Edward, you don't have any proof of this, do you? Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honor? I have here the card showing the killer left at the scene of the crime. Showing the killer. He is the person the police's special investigations team has been chasing for ages. I am certain that the person the witness saw was this very assassin, Shelley the Killer. Really? What's wrong, Mr. Powers? No, nothing. Something just stuck in my head. I thought I was figuring something out. Oh. Actually, I saw that boy again later on that night. Actually, I saw the bellboy again later on that night. What? Mr. Powers, please testify. Tell us what you saw. Yes, sir, right away. Anyway. Testimony, the second time. This time I was in the hallway because I didn't go to the bathroom. Could I stop dozing off, please? That would be very much lovely, you know what I'm saying? And that's when I saw the bellboy come out early. Of course, when I say room, I mean Juan Corrida's room. Now that I think about it, that bellboy did seem kinda out of place. Yeah, so he had to be the assassin, I'm sure of it. I mean... Thank you very much. That is all we need for now. Huh? But I'm not done. There's still more. Let us first establish that the bellboy was truly at Mr. the Killer. Then we shall see. Anyway. Let us first establish that the bellboy was truly Mr. the Killer. Then we shall see. So the bellboy came out of the victim's room. And if that bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer to the other side would be obvious. If I know if every time I was starting to doze off, like, just by closing my eyes, jeez. Then I think the answer is fairly obvious. That would be correct, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn to entertain and make us laugh. This is no laughing matter. Cross-examination, the second time. This time I was in that hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. Now that I think about it, that bellboy did seem kinda out of place. So what exactly was so out of place about him? Right. Why the inspired grin? Because it inspired me, maybe because I had no idea what damage was going to say next. Oh, boy, stop toasting up. Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing is going to say next. Oh, well, the bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed? That bellboy was one of those room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing the card and he wasn't holding a train pan either. You found that a little strange too, wouldn't you? I agree that it is a bit strange, Mr. Powers. Is it really that unusual for a bellboy to be empty-handed? What should I do? Should I let Miss Powers touch Powers? You're right. I think it's pretty unusual too. Ah, I thought you might think so. Think of every person as a thief. Well, I guess a thief and an assassin is both sneaky and silent. That's not the point, Phoenix. In any case, if that bellboy was the assassin, it'd be very bad for us. But he really is the assassin, you know. Yes, but you can't give in yet. If you want to prolong this trial for as long as possible, you're gonna have to pull some cheap tricks on this one. So what exactly was out of place about him? Right. Why the insipid grin? There's nothing strange or unusual about an empty-handed bellboy. But there really is. There really isn't! If you two are done being school children, bellboys are for room service. There's no reason for them to be empty-handed ever. Your Honor, I ask that the witness's previous statement be supplanted with this new one. Edgeworth, are you going to do whatever you can to make the bellboy look suspicious? I see. Very well, the court grants and recognizes and grants the prosecution's request. Mr. Powers, if you could amend your testimony, please. Yes, sir. I thought it was kind of strange for a bellboy to come out with guests empty-handed. I'm gonna save right here, just in case. Objection! Mr. Powers. Yes? You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard that the bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true. But, isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches and... So? A baseball has stitches. Are you saying all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches? Well, there's also... I mean, what about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask the court to please take a look here. This is... the crime scene. There's a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Corina's body. The liquid inside this glass is tomato juice. And now, if you would have looked at what's on top of the table in the lower right corner here, anyone could clearly see it as a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Corina's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. But that would mean that the bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room. But can you prove that Mr. Corina was already dead at that time? Mr. Edgeworth! Yes? I blame you for leading me down this route! I'm terribly sorry. What is with him? Why is he laughing? Witness, isn't there one more thing you would like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy was empty-handed. Or should I say, empty-handed. I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Huh? What? The bellboy. He was wearing gloves. Gloves? Yeah, pitch black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? Black leather gloves. Why didn't you mention them earlier? Sorry, it slipped my mind. Boy, does this make the bellboy look really suspicious. Alright, gotta focus. I can't lax here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves. Phoenix, we already discussed they do not. Come on, Mr. Wright. The bellboy was wearing black leather ones. So? A football is made of leather. Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they are made of leather? But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant. And then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe he was just another bellboy. It seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest? Oh yes, please tell us more. Okay. Witness testimony, their second meeting. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door, just like that. He gave something to the person inside the room. Then the old guy just left without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, went to the defendant's room? Yeah, I kinda saw all that by accident. Some accident, I'd say you saw too much. And all of it was suspicious to high heaven. I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now then, let's get started, shall we? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination, their second meeting. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door, just like that. Is that what you saw while you were busy spying? Excuse me? I may be a poor underpaid action star, but even I wouldn't stoop to spying. Well, I think the point is, where did you watch all this from, Mr. Powers? Oh, from the door of the bathroom with my left eye, in a sort of sneaky spy-like... I knew he was spying! Please, does it really matter if he was doing it over or underhandedly? What did the bellboy do next? That's all I care to know. He gave something to the person inside the room.
Hold it!
I said hold it! Okay. That's better. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. Oh, okay. I should probably ask them only one question at a time. He gave something to this person? Yeah. And what was this something? If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it a something, would I? But this implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers? I think it was something kind of small. This is an incredibly crucial piece of information. Please try to remember what it was. I'll try. In the meantime, let's talk of another point. Namely, what the bellboy did next. Oh, so after he gave the person inside the room the thing, then the old guy just left without even going into the room. Where did this bellboy go after he left Mr. Unguard's room? He opened the door to Viola Hall, went in there, and who knows after that, right? I do. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. Did you see anything strange, suspicious, or just out of the ordinary at that time? Oh yeah, I saw the one thing. What? You saw something else? There was this jittery alien with a ray gun. It was watching Vaughn's door like some sort of stalker. I think we can forget about the alien. Well, Mr. Powers' testimony now is as vague as his first. It's a little troublesome, isn't it? But I'm sure if you press him enough, everything will become clearer. Although that just makes it harder on us, doesn't it? Talk about a lose-lose situation. So who took this something the bellboy handed off? Actually, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. Only an arm? Then you're saying you didn't see the person's face? Yeah. I would like to summarize the testimony up to this point if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received this item, all you could see was the person's arm. Yes, it was just like that. Mr. Edgeworth, is all this really that important? Of course, Your Honor. I think this is of the utmost importance. This is when whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client. Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off. Well, let's see. I think it was... No. If you remember, please add it to your testimony. Yes, sir. I saw it, if I saw it again, I could for sure... I can't say for sure, but I think it was some sort of wooden statue. A wooden statue? You mean this? What was the point of that pregnant pause? Where did that conjunction come from? Well, speak up. It was me, Your Honor. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen once I show this. Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Phoenix. Deep breath. Mr. Powers, the something you saw, was it this item? Oh, hey, that's it. That's the something. Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out. I recall we found this at Maton God's mansion. At the defendant's house? What does this mean? It's simple, Your Honor. Shelly the killer assassinated Juan Corrida in his room. And then he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime. Then the bear being found at Mr. God's mansion would mean... It goes without saying, Your Honor. Mr. Maton God is the killer's client. Order! 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 I said order! Mr. Wright, this was a most unfortunate turn of events for you. Yeah. Sorry, Mia. No, it's alright. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. Even if you hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have. I almost forgot that he knew about it too. I think it is clear that there is no need for us to continue this trial. I can't let this happen. I have to do something. There has to be... Hey, GC, how you doing tonight? There has to be something we've overlooked. Your Honor! A minute, please! Yes, Mr. Wright? There are still a few points left that we have not fully explored. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? I'm gonna save this just to see what would happen. Mr. Powers' testimony, of course. Huh? I know that my testimony was kind of shaky, but... Your inanity simplifies me, Mr. Wright. We've already clarified all questionable points during the cross-examination just now. Wasting time like this, calling the testimony questionable. I'd say it's your head that's questionable here! Ah! So let's see. When we go to, I think it'd actually be... Yeah, so... I actually want to show off the ones before the correct answer. The person who received the bear is the correct answer, but the bears... But, let's take a look at the other ones. I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable. The bear, Mr. Wright? This was found at Mr. Ungard's mansion. However, Mr. Ungard was arrested at the hotel that night, which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home. Oh, I think Your Honor has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It is not possible that it was Mr. Ungard who took this bear to his mansion. Now, actually, let's go back to, this one here, because I want to see what it says about the person who received the bear. There was one thing in Mr. Powers' testimony that was very unclear, and that is the identity of the person who received the bears. He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. As long as we don't know who it was that took the bear, we can't be sure. Ah! Huh? 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 What is it, Mr. Powers? If you're going to scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why. Oh, yeah, sorry. Actually, so I remembered. I remembered who took the bear. What? Really? I mean, I only saw his arm. But the arm. It was the Nickel Samurai's arm, I swear it. You gotta be kidding! Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers? Yeah, I'm sure it was the Nickel Samurai. Order! It looks like you've dug your own grave yet again. How many times is that today? I've lost count. So the person who took this in the bear was the Nickel Samurai. And as we all know, Matt on God is the Nickel Samurai. Thanks to the defense, we've made that all the clearer. What am I supposed to do now, Mia? Help! You don't have time to act lost. You've got to find another angle to attack this from. Hurry! Now I will bring this cross-examination to... Your Honor! Again, Mr. Wright? We've already removed any and all questionable areas of this testimony. It's about time we removed you from this... You were removed from this court, Mr. Wright. I have to find something. Even one more little point will do. There are still questions left unanswered. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? So, Powers' testimony would do nothing. You would basically get a second chance to fix your mistake with the person who received the bear. So the bear itself is the right answer. Boom. There you go. I know what I said earlier. Don't quote me on it. I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable. The bear, Mr. Wright? The bear was found at Mr. Ungard's mansion. However, Mr. Ungard was arrested at the hotel that night, which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home. Oh. I think Your Honor has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It is not possible that it was Mr. Ungard who took this bear to his mansion. Why, that's very true. We didn't consider that point, Mr. Wright. There was no way, time-wise, for the defendant to have taken this bear home. Phew. Disaster averted. Look. You haven't gotten the best of me yet, Mr. Wright. Huh? I remember it clear as day. I remember what you muttered to yourself at Ungard's mansion. We have this area completely surrounded. There's no way for him to escape. I can't believe it. That butler. All this time, he was the killer. The killer and Ungard were working together, so to speak. And the killer was hiding at Ungard Mansion as its butler. What a bold move. The bear figurine was brought back to Ungard Mansion by the killer himself. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, Ungard had him do so. I assume it was because it would have been bad and the police found it during their investigation. Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for a while now. This is too much. Isn't there anything I can attack at all? I think we've heard enough. We now know why this bear figurine was at the defendant's mansion, as well as who it was that received the bear from the assassin in his room. Everything has become very clear. The client who hired the assassin to commit the murder was Mr. Matt Ungard. I see no reason for this trial to continue. Therefore, I will now hand down my verdict. Thank you, Your Honor, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you could not win against the truth, could you? I knew it would turn out this way. After all, what Edgeworth has stated is the truth. Any last objections, Mr. Wright? Well, do I? What should I do? I will now announce my There's only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left is this one dirty trick. Your Honor, right now we have these two reasons to believe my client is the assassin's client. Reason number one, he accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. Reason number two, that very same figurine was found at Unguard Mansion. However, it's possible that this is all the work of a certain other person. What are you saying? What I am saying is, it's possible a different person is the killer's real client. The real client? Yes. Is this all you have? Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theories. Who do you say is the killer's real client and therefore the real murderer? You have to go back to Adrian Andrews. Adrian Andrews? Yes. We already know that she tried to frame Matt Unguard for the crime. By wearing a spare nickel samurai costume. Ah! Then the nickel samurai arm that I saw. That could have very well been Miss Andrews. But what about Mr. Unguard? If you would please recall yesterday's testimony, the defendant was taking a nap during the break period. That's right. Then, finding this figure at Mr. Unguard's mansion? It was a well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in the defense's logic. Besides which, there's no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. What is with this trial? Come on, anyone could tell Unguard did it. I can't believe the defense would go so far as to pin the guilt on someone else. Yeah, unbelievable. It's not something petty. It's murder of all things. This is to save Maya. This is to save Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Order! 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 All disrupted parties will be forced to leave the courtroom. Your Honor, for the benefit of the defense, I'm willing to play along with his what-if game. His what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution is prepared to challenge the defense's theory. Mr. Wright, even you must have thought it strange and wondered. Why would the criminal want this little wooden bear? He's right. The killer did specially bring that bear to Unguard right away. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it? Absolutely. And I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness who will clear all doubts against Miss Andrews. And who would that be? It's quite simple, Your Honor. Miss Adrian Andrews herself. I see. Well then, the court will take a short 10-minute recess. The prosecution will prepare its witness in that time. Yes, Your Honor. March 23rd, 11:54 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Oh, I knew it was a good idea to hold her hostage. Don't you agree, Mr. Lawyer? But I never thought in your desperation you'd try to pin the guilt on Adrian. I swear this demon will pay. Mr. Nick! Pearls? Where's Mia? I don't know. A really strong power suddenly called her away. A really strong power? Oh, Mr. Nick, your phone is... It's from Gumshoe. How's it going? Have you been hanging in there, pal? Yeah, sort of. We just barely found something to latch on to. Phew, that's good, pal. And what about you? Anything yet? Have you figured out where the killer and Maya are? We still don't have any leads, but... What? We don't have any more time! And we just had one! Even a single clue would be really helpful! I was only able to come this far, because I kept thinking to myself, I've gotta keep the trial going until Maya's been rescued. But have I just run out of luck this time? Is all our hope or not? A tent! Huh? A tent? I could see a circus tent! Mia! It looks like Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me. So it was Maya that called you away! She's locked in a dusty little room right now. But I could see a circus tent outside the window about 300 feet away. Gumshoe! Is there a circus in town right now? There's only one, pal. The very big circus. Maya's somewhere within a 300-foot radius of the main tent. What? Okay, hold on a sec, pal. Hey, draw a circle on the map. About a 300-foot radius of the main tent. Hurry! And I could see a mailbox under the window just outside. Gumshoe, there's also a mailbox. Okay, what else? What else, Mia? I'm sorry, but it was a very small window. I couldn't see anything else. It felt like I was in an old office building. Maybe the 3rd floor or so. I heard her! An old office building. Good stuff, pal. Okay, just hang in there. Just a little longer, pal. Wish us luck. Good luck. I'll call you later. So don't let your battery die, okay, pal? Mia! Maya's not hurt, right? She's in a pretty bad state, Phoenix. She's being starved. Gumshoe, please hurry! Looks like we're out of time. Are you alright, Phoenix? It's only a matter of time before Maya's rescued. I can do this. I just have to make this trial last a little longer. March 23rd, 12:05 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Court will now reconvene. The killer, the man who murdered the victim, handed this to his client. From this, one obvious question arises. Why this particular item? I believe the answer to that question will provide us with the name of the real culprit. Now then, the prosecution calls the defendant's manager, Adrian Andrews, to the stand. Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder. I understand. Very good. Now, have you ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews? Of course I have. You have seen it before? That's right. It's only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court to this bear's secrets? Alright. Why? Why does she... Witness testimony. The bear figurine. Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it will be taken apart one piece at a time. At its center is a small cavity, with just enough room to store a small item. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. You really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it. So this figurine, it's a container of sorts, is it? Yes. Looks can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree? Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Oh yes, I nearly forgot. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. It looks like there really was something to that bear after all. Cross-examination. The bear figurine. A puzzle? That's right. But it looks like an ordinary figurine. True enough. To people who don't know, I'm sure they would never guess that this was a puzzle. So what kind of puzzle is this exactly? If you know the correct order, it will be taken apart one piece at a time. So you can take it apart? And how would one go about doing that? Well, you first turn its tail to the right and then push it in. Oh yes, I see. After that, the arms and legs are free to move and can be removed. Oh, this is most interesting. A boy and his new toy. It's like he's 5 all over again. Oh, don't mind me. Go ahead and carry on. I think he's lost it. So what do you find after you take the puzzle apart? At its center is a small cavity with just enough room to store a small item. And how do you know about this? I know because I was the one who bought it. Huh? It was a souvenir from when a friend and I went to Switzerland. Then this was a present from you? That's right. It was a puzzle in the shape of a bear, so I thought it would be perfect for Juan. So it was a present for Miss Andrews. Witness, let's continue your testimony. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. So who exactly knew how to solve this puzzle? Only the two of us, Juan and myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland, so I doubt there are that many people with the same bear in this country. But this looks like it can be easily broken, especially if someone wanted to get at what's inside. Well, it's a toy, but it can never be the same again once it's been broken. You really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it. Who else knows if this bear is actually a small container or a jewelry box? I never told anyone. And as long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the two of us knew. The two of you, huh? Then of course that means Mr. Ungar didn't know, right? I think this is about all I'm gonna get for now. Figurine updated in the court record. A wooden puzzle with a hollow inside. Only Corey and Andrews know how to open it. Well, Mr. Wright, I think even you have come to realize. That there is one very important fact we haven't covered, and that is this. This bear is actually a jewelry box. Now that we have agreed to this point, there's only one logical question that can come next, and that is, what is inside this box? What's inside? That's right. That's what we are going to find out next. Witness! Yes? You are the only one who can open this. please. There's a painful silence hanging over the courtroom. All eyes are on Miss Andrews now, as she solves the puzzle and takes the bear apart. I've opened it. Is this what you wanted? What is that? It looks like a note. I don't think we need to guess at what that is, do we, Mr. Wright? It's the suicide note. The suicide note? The suicide note left by Juan Corrida's former manager, Celeste Impax. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts, but just as we suspected, it was hidden. Hidden by the victim Juan Corrida himself. It seems Celeste Impax had very beautiful handwriting, and she just as beautifully signed her own name on this document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide. Order! Witness, did you know about this? Yes, I did. I heard all about it from Juan. When I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public, but I couldn't find it anywhere, because it had already been taken by the killer. Everything was going at Mr. Edward's pace. So now that the suicide note has been found, what's the next logical question? What is written on the note? What is written on the note? That's right. At least that's what I would think. Now then, I believe it is only appropriate the contents of this note be known. I can't stop you, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it. And I was going to burn it, for her sake. I'm deeply sorry, but I can't allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honor, if you could please read the contents of the note aloud. Very well. The judge's voice rang loud and clear through the deathly silent courtroom. In her note, Celeste Impax left to us a record of all that had happened to her. About being used and then thrown away by Ungard. About being engaged to Corrida, and Ungard's role in destroying that. And about how she decided, in her despair, to end it all. And that's all Miss Impax had to say. There's one thing I would like to say here. The prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. Ungard. What? Our intention, Your Honor, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness? Yes. On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of the note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference. My word! That Ungard values above all else his refreshing like the spring breeze image, which is why he had to stop this note from being made public. At any cost! Celeste's suicide note added to the court record. Found inside the figurine, it tells of Ungard's horrible misdeeds. It's Ungard's fault that the woman killed herself. And this time he even went so far as to kill someone to stop him from revealing that. How terrible, what a selfish person. I guess our slime-ball lawyers after who would defend these creeps too. There's no room for doubt here. Mr. the killer's client's goal was to obtain this suicide note. And the only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget that the bear with the note inside was found in the defendant's house. It seems that we have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were entirely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone. How am I supposed to escape from this one? Why the hesitation, Phoenix? Gumshoe hasn't called yet, so you know what you must do. I know. I have to carry on and buy him some more time. Okay. There are two deadly pieces of evidence. The figurine and the suicide note. Maybe somehow I can find a way out of this situation through one of those. The goblin's already in the judge's hand. Phoenix, hurry! The suicide note or the figurine? Which one of these should I pursue?
Objection!
Please wait, Your Honor! Oh man, look at that lawyer. He's still going at it? It's like he doesn't care that he's trying to get a killer off the hook. I think Your Honor believes that Madame Guard killed his in order to obtain this note. Yes, that is correct. But that seems a little strange. In fact, I think there's a contradiction here. This note was hidden by Mr. Corrida until the night of the murder. If that is the case, I say that Madame Guard could not have known what was written on this note. Oh, I didn't think of it that way. Exactly. But I did think of it that way, and I thought it was rather strange. No one in their right mind would kill for a note without first knowing what it said. Order! 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 You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? It was just a flash, but I think I did rather well in this one. Unfortunately, I think he believes differently. I believe a show of appreciation is in order. Huh? The defense seems to be in love with wishing more despair upon itself. I would like to direct the court's attention to this. What is that? What is that? It is a very small video camera, Your Honor. This type of camera is commonly used as a means of spying. Spying? What the... I thought that spy camera was in my possession. Wright and Guard and the victim both thought of the other as their biggest rival. They even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weaknesses. And? The victim, Juan Corrida, was being spied on. His personal life was being watched by none other than Matt and Guard. Order! Order! Mr. Wright! Yes, Your Honor? You don't tell me you knew about your client's violent activities? Well, sort of. Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright. I see you are confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I have the camera that was in the stuffed bear's eye. But this camera that I have is not that same one. Last night I searched the victim's house on a hunch. Using this. Gumshoe's bug sweeper. By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera. Matt and Guard's fingerprints were found on there? Well, Phoenix, it looks like those cameras were hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say to that evidence? I think this is the end. It's fairly obvious that Mr. Ungard learned of the suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along. He got me good this time. I don't have anything to counter that. Hey, now what's that lawyer thinking? Mommy, is that man a bad killer guy? Just stop, don't look at him. The way he's sweating is just so... ew, nasty. Phoenix. Yes, Chief? Have you figured out what you're going to do next yet? What I'm going to do next? Is running away like a frightened child work? I know it seems like Mr. Edgeworth is very close to putting the lid on this case. But, in his eagerness to prove his point, He forgot one very important thing. Well, what is it, Mia? There's a piece of evidence that he really should investigate. Something he should investigate? I would really hate to see the good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when he had the chance. Why are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden? Alright, I think this time we finally understand everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you? What is this piece of evidence that Mia is talking about? Can I figure out what it is that still needs to be overlooked, or should I just let it go? Let's see here. This is where the fun begins, trying to figure out exactly what we have to do here. So let's see here. So we've pretty much explored just about every nook and cranny here. The only thing I could think of here, because we already found out about the suicide report, but what about the attempted suicide report? I want to go ahead and save here, just in case. I think that's literally the only thing we've ever really looked at yet. I have an objection, Your Honor. That was about the weakest objection I've ever heard, Mr. Wright.
Objection!
Your Honor, the defense has no intention of letting this go so easily. You are beginning to sound desperate. That's just your imagination, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, this is not like you at all. Huh? In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing. Hey, isn't that what I just said? So you're telling me that I forgot something? You're so close, Mr. Edgeworth. But there's something you really should examine about this piece of evidence. Wrong button.
Take that!
Well, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, I do believe some special examination is needed. But I think the item that should be examined is the defense's gray matter. Whoops! It's alright, after this trial is over, I would like to see you in my chambers. I think there are a few things we need to discuss. Yes, Your Honor. If you're going to speak, at least use your brain to make something... So you're...
Take that!
What the hell is it then? Hmm. Okay, hold on a second. So I gotta think about this. It might be this one now, because I feel like I might be on the right track here. Because, see, Celeste's suicide note was written. But the only question is, we know it was written, we know it was found in the bear, and we know about all that. But the question is, while we know it's a suicide note, who wrote it? That is Miss Inbox's suicide note, right? Who knows? I mean, sure, this suicide note was found inside this bear. But this bear was in my possession until only a few moments ago. Which means the handwriting on this suicide note is yet to be analyzed. Oh. So, as to whether this pivotal piece of evidence was really written by Miss Syntax or not, that has yet to be even remotely confirmed. Mr. Wright, you can't seriously be... Mr. Wright, are you saying the suicide note is a fake? Miss Andrews, you were the one who tried to pin this murder on Mr. Ungard. Who's to say you didn't create a fake suicide note and put it into this bear? How dare you! Your Honor, the defense is indiscriminately accusing the witness again. There's no evidence linking the witness to the suicide note whatsoever. But if this is a fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it. What? Recall the witness's testimony concerning this figurine. The only person other than the victim who could solve the puzzle is the witness herself. Ah! Miss Andrews! You wrote this note, didn't you? You wrote it so you could use it to frame Matt on guard. I did no such thing. Right. If you're going to pronounce a suicide note a fake, then show us this court some evidence to support your theory. Mr. Edgeworth, you were the one who presented this scrap of paper as evidence. That means the burden of the proof lies with you, the prosecution. That's enough. Mr. Edgeworth, can you confirm the handwriting on this suicide note? It is as defense has stated. The handwriting has yet to be analyzed. If that's the case, it seems that yet again we have reached a point where a verdict is impossible. That's impossible! This isn't good, Phoenix. The judge is going to carry this trial over one more day. I don't think Maya will physically be able to make it another day. I didn't want to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. I request that both the prosecution and defense further investigate. Handwriting analysis, my butt, that's just a lawyer trying to buy more time. Our guard is guilty, look at the idiot could tell you that. I think we've reached the end of the line. Guilty, guilty. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Guilty, guilty. What is that sound? It's Gumshoe. Hello? Gumshoe? What is wrong? What is with him? And what's with that sigh? Where's Maya? What happened to the killer? He got away. What? I'm sorry, pal. I really am. I don't know what else to say, but besides, I'm sorry. I wish there was some way to make it up to you. I really do. Anyway, what's going on? We found his hideout, pal. But the two of them were already gone. This is terrible. I'm gonna keep looking for them, pal. Don't you worry. I just need a little more time. But don't tell me we don't. We don't have any more. Guilty, 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 guilty. Do you hear that? They're calling for his head. Mr. Wright, I can't. For us to come this far and... Oh! What is it? Let me talk to Mr. Edgeworth. I can't do that. Mr. Wright, would you please get a hold of yourself? Yes, Your Honor. I am about to end today's proceedings. You may take your phone calls after. Hold on, Your Honor. Edgeworth, catch! Mr. Edgeworth? Please, you've got to buy some more time. Court is in session. I'm sorry, Your Honor. You were saying? Mr. Wright, this is a court of law. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I am reluctant to do this, however. It appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow. This time I really can't do anything. Court is now adjourned for the day. Please wait, Your Honor. Edgeworth? What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honor's time. For what purpose? We can perform the necessary tests and speech of evidence in that time. But can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes? I believe we can, Your Honor. But wouldn't it be better if we adjourned for today and then reconvene tomorrow? 30 minutes, please, Your Honor. That's all I am asking for. Please, Your Honor. Very well. At the prosecution's request, this court will now take a 30-minute recess. But be advised that I will not allow another recess today. I'm not sure if this is helping or hurting us. The court will now take its final recess of the day. March 23rd, 2:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Right. Well, what's going on with Maya's situation? The killer. It looks like she got away again. 30 minutes? We can't find her in that time. Report! Report! Is that Mr. Edgeworth? We don't have time, just spit it out. Right. It looks like we just missed him, sir. But the killer left a few things behind by accident and has rushed to get away. A few things? Can we use any of them as evidence? Oh, I thought you'd ask, pal. Huh? I've got the things he left with me right now and I'm on my way over. Really? That's odd. Any items like that are usually sent to the crime lab first. We don't have time to wait for those guys, sir! When those guys weren't looking, I swiped this stuff and ran! What? Well, I'm not a detective anymore, so I had to. I'm really sorry, sir, but I've got to put the law on hold for now. Sounds bad. I hope he doesn't get into too much trouble over this. When my hookup jump car, I'd say I'll be there in about 20 minutes, sir. Don't worry, I'll be there. Wait for me. Alright, just get here in one piece. I want to make sure no one can stop me now, sir. No one! I'm pulling out all the stops and running every red light. Items left by the murderer, huh? Maybe there's something among them that will be decisive enough to end this. Hey, what's wrong? Detective Gumshoe, answer me! No one can stop me. What happened? It sounded like we had an accident. I'm guessing his cell phone broke as well. What was he thinking? We've gotta hurry and call for help. But we have no idea where he is. His cell phone is broken and he wasn't driving a patrol car, so no radio either. Also, if we don't get to those items before they do, the police will take possession of them. No! We can't let that happen! Well, if there is a way we can find out where he is, then we stand a chance. Why, oh why did Gumshoe have to get into an accident now? Is there any way to find out exactly where he is at the moment? Yes, there is! That's right, there is a way! What? How? I'm sure we can find out where Detective Gumshoe is through this. Remember, that leg strap, the leg thing that, Franziska put on Gumshoe? That's how. Why are you bringing up Franziska at a time like... Oh, I see. I'll try to get in contact with her. The chances are slim, but she's all we have. Franziska. Will she even want to help us? Edgeworth. What is it? I don't have any right to judge anyone ever again. I know my client is guilty. But what I'm doing now, I'm pitting the guilt onto someone who's totally innocent and using the evidence to do so. It might be my turn to say, defense attorney Phoenix Wright chooses death. Right. It doesn't suit someone like you to cry useless tears. Whether you did your job well or not, that can only be seen after the verdict has been decided. The verdict. Is Prosecutor Edgeworth here? Yes, bailiff. There's a phone call for you, sir. They said it was extremely urgent. They're probably finished with the handwriting analysis. I have to go take this call. In the meantime, think hard about what it is you must do. Alright. That... Don't mind the socks. Don't mind the socks. Anyway, I'm actually going to go ahead and take this chance to take a little bit of a break. It won't be too long. I just need to do some stuff real quick. I'll be right back. Alright? I'll be right back. Alright. It is now time. Now, we are at the finale, the very last part of this story and of the game of Justice for All. Let's see what happens. March 23rd, 2:35 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready? Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. And the defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgeworth? It's nothing, Your Honor. What's wrong with Edgeworth? It looks like something unexpected just happened to him. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please tell the court the result of the handwriting analysis on Miss Sinpax's suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that this suicide note is a forgery. What? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This note was not written by Miss Sinpax herself. It is a fake. Order! 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 Mr. Edgeworth, would you care to explain what is going on? If this was not written by Miss Sinpax, then who wrote it? We would need more time to do a more detailed analysis. However, it appears that the handwriting matches of the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida. Mr. Corrida? Well, well. It looks like Miss Sinpax never left a suicide note after all. She never wrote anything about Unguard. However, Your Honor, even though this suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. Unguard could not have known that, and so that fact remains unchanged. Acting under the assumption that it was real, he had plotted to possess it. That does sound very plausible. This theory Unguard had no idea that the suicide note was fake. Something seems a little wrong with it. Let's see here. See. The defense believes that the theory the prosecution has stated contradicts testimony. If everything the prosecution has proven up to this point is true, then it's impossible for Mr. Unguard to not have known it was a fake. Oh, I gotta think about this a lot harder. Alright. Okay. So, we got so many choices here. Let's see. We got a few options here. You could choose the spy camera, the transmitter, or the stuffed bear. I'd say choose the... What is this little item? What is this little item called again? A video camera, Your Honor. Well, a very small one, but... Oh, that's right, a camera. Ah, you kids and your fancy toys nowadays. Mr. Edgeworth. Earlier... Sorry, making sure my thing was going right. Earlier, you claimed that Mr. Unguard knew of this existence of this note because he was spying on the victim. Isn't that right? If that were true, then this means Mr. Unguard would have known that the victim had forged the note. Ah! So then, the defendant knew the suicide note was a fake. And if that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed in a very dramatic way. Exactly, Your Honor. The prosecution's theory as to what Mr. Unguard's motive for murder was, it has suddenly disappeared into thin air. But, Your Honor, it's not as if Mr. Unguard monitored Mr. Corina 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. Unguard didn't know of. Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made the forgery in an unknown place? You know, they may not like to admit it, but it might be true. Order! 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 Mr. Edgeworth. It looks like this time it is you who has done his own grave. It looks like it is you who has done his own grave. As I figured. Huh? As you figured? As I figured. It came down to this after all. Mr. Edgeworth, you are not making any sense. When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what next? What next? If the prosecution can't prove Mr. Unguard's motive through the evidence, then we must prove it from another angle. Well, I agree with you there. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time. Oh, well, that's fine. However, this witness is a little unusual. Edgeworth stuttering? This is not like him at all. Unusual? Well, what sort of witness is this person, Mr. Edgeworth? This witness is one who is perfectly fit to answer once and for all the question of who was it that hired Shelly the killer to commit murder? That's impossible! Who in the... No such person exists who can answer that question with such certainty. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth, who is this witness? Yes, go on. Who is it? The man himself, Mr. Shelly the Killer. Oh, Mr. the Killer. Wait! Shelly the Killer? You mean the killer? I mean the assassin? Yes, Your Honor. He's coming here? To the witness stand? Well, just in a matter of speaking. I recognize that this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission. Well, Mr. Wright? Yes? Is this all right with you? Do I have a choice here? I can't really do much else to drag this trial out. The defense has no objections, Your Honor. I wonder if it really is all right to do this. Very well, then. The prosecution calls its witness to the stand. Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us? Nope. Now then, witness. Your name and your, occupation, please. Very good, sir. My name is Shelly the Killer, and I am a professional assassin. I say! What is going on here? Your Honor, how can you remain so calm? And what is the meaning of this two-way radio? Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. the Killer will testify to this court. So this must be what that urgent phone calling out earlier was about. Oh no, this will not do. I cannot allow this in my court. First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. the Killer himself. Witness, please present some sort of proof that you are, in fact, Shelly the Killer. I understand. Please wait a second. I'm so hungry. Maya! Maya! A voice! Mr. Wright, can you confirm anything from this? The defense has no objections to this person. We are satisfied that this man is indeed Shelly the Killer. It looks like we have run into yet another unexpected turn of events. Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so... Now then, witness. There's one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else. And what would that be? At the request of a client, you killed Mr. Juan Corrida. Is this correct? It is as you say. I did indeed kill Mr. Corrida. Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client. Very well. This is all just a bad dream. Yes, that's it, a bad dream. Shelly the Killer. What is he going to say? Witness testimony about my client. There is something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client. Mr. Killer seems to be a very clever man. I'd almost say he seems to be mocking us. While he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor, Mr. the Killer is only stating the truth. He is a no hypocrite. He has always stood by his one belief. You mean about this trust between his clients and himself thing? It seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes, Your Honor. There's no way to know what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix. Cross-examination about my client. The trust between you and your client? I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew, my face would be quite troublesome. And that is why you're testifying in this manner? This is the first time of one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the killer name so my clients can trust me. But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust? It has never happened before, but if it ever did... Yes? That person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would certainly... That's enough! Please, no more! Very well. It was only a hypothetical anyway. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand.
Hold it!
That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken. Hey, Malia! How you doing tonight? Been a while since I last seen you, but how you been? This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role. Their role? This person tried to implicate another on the crime in order to save themselves. Doing well, how are you? I'm doing pretty well, thank you for asking. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven. Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty? To the gentleman who spoke just now. Excuse me, but would you care to die? Oh, no, I didn't say anything. The judge had better watch himself. It is any wish that you grasp this content before I give the name of my client. We understand, so please tell us the name of your client. I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things to say before I do. That egomaniacal. It's not good for your health to be so aggravated. You won't live very long if you let everything bother you. Somehow that coming from an assassin makes it less than comforting. I don't really care about all this extra fluff. Just tell me the name already. Patience. Try to calm down a little. It's important to try and understand his mindset. He seems very steadfast and closed, so you're gonna have to work to get him to talk. I'm not his therapist, you know. There is something I must first state. We can hear anything you have to say later. Can you please just tell us your clients? I don't think you understand your place, Mr. Attorney. I said this is something I must first state. Do you know what the word first means? Sorry. Go on. Well, it appears this is one witness you can't badger, Mr. Wright. That's only because you don't know about Maya's situation. I'm sorry, but I was wondering about something you just said. You said that your client had already broken the rules. A person who frames another is the worst kind of human. Got a ridge coming from a guy who's doing the same thing himself right now. And that's why you feel you can betray this person? I have no trust relation with a client who can't understand their assigned role. Just my luck. An assassin with a conscience. Who would have figured? Now then, everyone. Do you think you can understand my logic? This case just keeps getting better and better. If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your point, I think. Really. In that case, I believe I am prepared to disclose the information you seek. You have made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we are ready. Excellent. What is it? No, I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness! What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Mr. Juan Corrida? That person's name is... Adrian Andrews. What?! witness! That's not what you told me it was earlier. Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews. What? This can't be. On the phone earlier. What's going on here? My guess is that Mr. the Killer just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. Stabbed Edgeworth in the back? I'm sure in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. the Killer told him a different name. Matt on guard, perhaps? I knew it. This is outrageous! I was deceived! This witness is telling a very serious lie. But you are the one who summoned this witness. You, Shelly the Killer! My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is Matt on guard, am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal. Wow. All of a sudden, it feels like we could actually win this. Yeah. The prosecution has failed to provide a motive and has instead provided this suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there is a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most infinitely of all, we have learned from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. the Killer's client who requested the murder was not the defendant at all. No. With all this evidence, it is obvious to me that this means that Mr. Matt on guard is innocent. I seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please continue your discussion and call me when you have reached a verdict. Bailiff! Please bring Miss Adrian Andrews in immediately. What now? With the way this is going, the guard will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya. Yeah, but Edgeworth is right. The killer is lying. And on guard, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I live with myself if I win this? Who would have believed if the prosecution's own witness would absolve the defendant? Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shelly the Killer is certainly lying under oath. It wasn't me! Listen, everyone, please! That testimony just now, it was all one big lie! Miss Andrews, the suicide note may have been a fake, but that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And Juan's death, it was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. That testimony just now, you have to believe me. It was a horrible, horrible lie. But Mr. the Killer himself has testified. He has named you as his client. No, that's not true. Also, there is quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and the button donning the nickel samurai costume. But that's... You even have a motive. We know that Miss Celeste impacted a large part of your life. You wanted to follow her, and you wanted revenge against the two who hurt her. I would say you have plenty of reasons to want them both dead. No. Mr. Wright! You know the truth. Tell them! Tell them the real story! Who the real killer is! Tell them! Please, help me. Yes, I know the truth. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions. I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? Or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do? The answer is very simple. Phoenix. I can't do it, Mia. I can't accept a not guilty. You are a lawyer. I know. But Madam Guard is a killer. A murderer! I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. If I let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I am no better than Unguard. And even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact that it is because of Edgeworth that I now know the real truth. He could have gotten Unguard convicted so many times over, but he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust. His trust? I never thought about it until now. I trust him? Yes, you do. Mr. Wright, your opinion, please. The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. the Killer. Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But that witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done. I'm not done yet. To see through the witness's lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. There's still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here, in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur. Very well. The trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please re-establish connection with Mr. the Killer. Right away, Your Honor. Has a verdict been reached? Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more. About... All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else could you need me for? Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are. Usually done. What is he talking about? Usually done? What shall we have him testify about now? Mr. the Killer, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail. You legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court? But very well, I'll play your game. Witness testimony about my client, part 2. As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planning of the knife and button. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. This is a most unexpected turn of events. For the, 5th time now? However, this time, everything has finally been revealed.
Objection!
Just a second, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? We still have the cross-examination to do. But you don't need a question testimony like this. Do you, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, the defense will question the witness. As if I have a choice here. Huh? Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then I'll expose the lies in that oh-so-beneficial testimony, I suppose. I don't understand what's going on anymore. That makes two of us. Cross-examination. About my client, part 2. I would think that most people wouldn't be able to overlook a person hiring another to kill. He's looking at you like, really, dude? If I had a problem with such a thing, I wouldn't be very effective at my job. Ah, yeah. Well, a change of occupation might be good for you. However, I will say this. Even though I am the one that does the deed, my clients are always the real guilty party. That goes without saying, Mr. the Killer. And their fate is to live with the knowledge of their guilt on their shoulders. However, my client this time thought they could run away from their guilt. My client did it to frame another for the crime. Up until... Let's see. See, we could question that, but we already know he's gonna claim that she did it to frame Matt on guard for that. So you're saying most clients wouldn't do such a thing? That is correct. Usually most people try to create an alibi for themselves. If you should use my services, Mr. Attorney, I would suggest you plan for your alibi too. No, I already told you I have no intention of using your services. Ever! Yeah, so, for context, if you were to question him with this, here's what would happen. Are you talking about the button and the knife? Yes, and my business card. Oh, this card. So that no one has to waste their time, including the police. I always make it a point to make things as easy as possible. You try to make things as easy as possible? You try to make things easy? My business card makes it very easy to identify who carried out the service. He's pretty devoted to his work. But to disregard everything, to go and stab the deceased with a knife, and even hide my card from sight, that is something I cannot overlook. It's really hard to tell if he's being truthful or not without him being here. That is true. From the very beginning. That is correct. From before my client visited the room. All of my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times. I wonder if that's really true. That's odd. But even more appalling is the patient. Alright? So why do you think your client did that? What do you mean by why? Well, fiddling around at the scene of the crime is pretty risky. And why would someone who has requested a murder go to the crime scene anyway? That is true. I assume it was probably done to frame Mr. Ungard. If that's the case, then why didn't the person just request that you do it? Sadly, That is not possible. Huh? My job is to kill. Hey, Limeblade, how you doing tonight? My job is to kill. That is all. And to leave my business card behind, naturally. The business card is so my clients may escape the blame. Trying to protect them is my duty. Even if they say it's for revenge, setting someone else up to take your fall. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. So, let's see here. According to Andrews' testimony... Ooh, nice! Oh, that's nice. You'll have to send me a picture of the pupper. I'd like to see what this pupper looks like. Yeah, that's really nice, though. 4-year-old pupper, that's really cute. Now that I finally got the tea done, I can drink my A&W root beer. But in any case, what were we saying? Oh yes, so Adrian Andrews, he says she already knew from the beginning that Corina was dead. But according to Andrews' testimony from the previous the trial from before this one, that the first day of the trial here, that she thought he was sleeping or something, and she didn't think he was dead. So she didn't think anything of it. She just supposedly put that wine glass there. So thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. the Killer. What is the meaning of that attitude? When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that Juan Corina had been murdered. Oh, sent the photo? Alright, I'll check him out later. After I'm done with this and playing Ace Attorney Investigations. But how do you know that? From this wine glass, Your Honor. The glass. Mr. the Killer's supposed client thought Mr. Corina had only fainted, which is why this glass of tomato juice was poured from the victim. Wait, for the victim. If I said from the victim, I meant for the victim. Either way. But isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan? That is not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, they would never have left their fingerprints behind. I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? Strangely enough, I had the same exact thought just now. Witness! How do you explain this strange phenomenon? Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct? I'm afraid you are mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client, as you claim, then your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Corina's death. If not, then that can only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all. How strange. Yes? Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation? Phoenix, if the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. Yeah, I know.
Objection!
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence? Ah, sorry. Well, that was an awfully weak objection for the two of you. Anyway, I am positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. The prosecution requests for the testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well. Right now I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here. I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those items. Witness testimony. Request taking. This request came to me, about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize. You know, something was telling me if you were gonna name the pupper after a character from something, it would have been Doctor Who. And you may or may not know the reason why I say that. But either way, that is a really good name. I like that. That's a cute name. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory, and I believe I have made no mistakes. So you physically met your client, huh? That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Cross-examination. Request taking. This request came to me, about a week ago. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Of course I did. What was that? Just with a brief... Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I have never taken a request by telephone or mail. And why is that? That's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? See, that is not entirely important. Yet. Why he meets his clients is not important. And that wasn't the point. Witness, please stop. What do you mean by that? My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? I have already told you, Mr. Wright, I did. It was only through talking with him face to face that I began to trust him. That's when I thought I could trust this person as a client. It's true what they say about talking face to face. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? Actually, it was. He just misgendered Miss Andrews. Because he said him and not her. If I heard what I think I heard just now, then I think I've got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of utmost importance. Oh? Really? If that's the case, witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony. Very well. From the moment I saw him, I thought I can trust this person as a client. You all know what we gotta do here. I already said what we gotta do.
Objection!
I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time? Yes, that is correct. And that's when you thought he was trustworthy. How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct. Alright, Lime Lane. See you when you get back. I'm sorry, but that is an impossible tale. What? Shelly the Killer. You have never met the real Adrian Andrews. Why would you say that? Because you made one very big slip up about her. So what is the issue? What did you just say just now? About her? If you had even met Miss Adrian Andrews in person, one look would have told you that she is a woman! Oh-hoo! I just want to point out real quick, if you watch the I don't know how it is in the English dub, but if you watch the Japanese version of the anime based on this game, he yells out, "Pom-pom! Pom-pom!" Yeah, he does shout out bourbon. Well, bourbon, but it's bourbon. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? This witness testified to the following. That he always meets face-to-face with his clients when taking their request. But he has never met Adrian Andrews in person. Yes, Your Honor. That is exactly the point. That means Mr. The Killer's client could not have been Miss Adrian Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, I understand your logic on this one. However, why would the assassin make such a basic mistake? I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor. Her name? Yes, Adrian Andrews is without a doubt a very androgynous name. Yes, I see. I mean, yes, Adrian can be used for both boys and girls. Unluckily for Mr. The Killer, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender, and so he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. What? What is going on? Shelly the Killer! This court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another. So does that mean you remember something different now? Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more. I know he's just gonna spit out more lies. Very well, but this time please give us the truth, and nothing but the truth. Witness testimony. Request taking part 2. Yes, now I remember. I took that request by mail. There's been many times when I took a job without having met my client. The request is for the murder of Juan Corrida and 2 or 3 other small things. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. So you took this job through a letter. He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony, which means he is definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. I know. I can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay. Like we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me, no matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it. Now then, let's begin the cross-examination. Cross-examination. Request taking part 2. But didn't you just say that you always meet your clients? Yes, I suppose I did say that. However, there are some clients for whom a meeting is simply not possible. But didn't you meet your client this time? No, I did not. Oh, come now, let's stop with this game of cat and mouse. Using your silkiest voice is not going to work on me. Alright then, just cough it up and confess! Mr. Wright, you can't badger a witness with such harsh words. You're a lawyer, so behave like one and present evidence instead of mindlessly yelling. Now then, do you have any proof that Mr. Natilla met with his client? Do we though? We actually don't, so... I'm sorry, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I don't have any proof. I see. And your line of questioning was just another waste of time. Sadly for us, Your Honor, that is the nature of right and wrong. Two or three other small things. 2 or 3 other things? Yes. And what were those other things? A few other things that have nothing to do with this case. What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? It'd be really bad if I pushed his buttons the wrong way and he got mad. Whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide. Mr. Attorney. Yes? Everything I have said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client. Which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Could it be that you are planning to betray your own client? That's... I smell the stench of a backstabber! And should you turn out to be one... Wait! Uh-oh, this is looking really bad. I shouldn't press my luck. I'd have to think, is this worth pursuing? Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested were. If it's truly that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine. The bear figurine? After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing. And where was that figurine? It was inside Mr. Corrida's suitcase. And then, what did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client? Interesting. This information certainly sounds important to me. Witness, please include what you just stated in your testimony. As you wish. One of these was to find the bear figurine and give it to Adrian Andrews. Alright, so you want to talk about the bear? Let's use the bear.
Objection!
Shelly the Killer. If you had really given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside it. This item? I see where you're going. Yup, that's where I'm going. Where is everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase? Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony. And I was going to burn it for her sake. If even for a single minute, this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the suitcase note out and burned it. Order, order, order! So that's where you two were going. So by the very fact that the suicide note was still inside the bear, it tells us that your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle. Which means? It means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client. Oh ho! Order! 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 Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else! I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of our agreement. No, that's enough. If that was your intention, and there's only one thing for me to do. Wait, please! Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to.
Hold it!
No, please. Not that. Please wait. Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end, and I may stay my hand. Otherwise... Ah! What in the... Mr. Wright? Are you... Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. I didn't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there is a need to hear more testimony, or is this enough? Well, we should. Edgeworth, we can't do this. If we keep this up, she'll... The prosecution... What has come over everyone? Even you are! The prosecution... rests. What is going on around here? The prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor. What? Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. If the prosecution rests with no further questions, then the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that is the case, then even though I am reluctant, I must believe that Mr. the Killer's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Jelly the Killer's client is Adrian Andrews. Mr. Wright! Yes, Your Honor? If I end the trial here right now, then your client, Mathangard, would be declared innocent. And in his place, Adrian Andrews would be charged with murder. Miss Andrews would be charged with murder. The prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant Mathangard to the stand. The items from Mr. the Killer's hideout didn't make it in time. We tried as hard as we could, but it looks like our time has run out. Can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands. Dude, did the old guy finally decide? To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person. You have done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But at least won the charge of murder, and would appear you are innocent. Ha! So, I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out. Mr. Unguard? What an atrocious lawyer I have, giving his own client up like this. And that refresher like a spring freeze crap, it's just as atrocious. Don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it, and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer? Should I side with justice? Or should I save Maya's life? Oh, excuse me. You'd better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? But if I did that, Maya will die. But if I say he's innocent, then Miss Andrews will be charged as the murderer. Do I say he's guilty or not guilty? Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. It all hinges on what I choose. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. If the person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews, then your client, Mr. Mattengard, is innocent. There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer is going to say what I want. Aren't you? Right. I can't do this. But I have to decide something. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client, Mattengard, is not gonna matter what we pick here. We are waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Mattengard, your client deserves an answer. Welcome back, Diamond. Maya, I'm sorry. Mattengard is...
Objection!
Hey! Francisca von Karma! Boy, I am not bald, okay? And I'm not old. Also, I missed what she said. What did she say? I missed it. What are you doing here? Ow! Now we're caught up. You see now, don't you? See now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off of that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces. Do you have them? You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Our Von Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence is here in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy. He's fine and his injuries are minor. All of the items are inside this. What a filthy old coat this is. That's gumshoes. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for its ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in. I fought long and hard this whole trial, all for what is inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence. Your final evidence? This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand down my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial. What?
Objection!
Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence, down to the last. I request that Miss Von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence. I suppose you are right, Mr. Edgeworth. I grant permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, then they will not be accepted by this court. Now, Miss Von Karma, if you please. These pieces of evidence are items left by the killer during his escape from the police. It must have been quite a rush. Yes, Your Honor. The killer left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere among the evidence we're about to see, there will be something that will turn this whole situation around. Like a miracle. I'm sure of it. That is all we can hope for. Oh, excuse me. The first item is a pistol. Does the killer's pistol have anything to do with this case? Does that pistol have any relation to this case? We have yet to perform a ballistics test, so I can't say anything for certain. However, I believe it has something to do with this case. At least with me. Huh? That's the pistol that he used to shoot you, isn't it? That's what I believe, yes. Oh. I kept the bullet they removed from my shoulder as sort of a memento. I'm sure it will be an excellent sample for the test. So that's the pistol that was used to shoot Franziska. It's probably not going to help us very much. Pistol added to the court record. The second piece of evidence is this videotape. I bet the killer took that from Unguard Mansion. Have you checked the contents of that tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. Oh yeah. But I would speculate that this tape is very important. Why would you say that? Because he came back to his hideout for it. The killer went back for it? That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. He injured 3 of the officers at the site. But somehow it looks like they managed to protect it from the killer. Surely the killer is no ordinary man. Videotape added to the court record. The last piece of evidence is this bellboy's uniform. Is that a uniform from the Gatewater Hotel? Was that used during the crime? I am almost certain it was. There's even a pair of black leather gloves in one of the pockets. There's no doubt about it. The killer was wearing this on the night of the murder. There is one thing I found interesting about this uniform. And what is that? There is a button missing on this uniform. A button? It's a very unique button. I'm sure if we were to recover it, it would provide us with an interesting clue. Bellboy's uniform added to the court record. That is all I have to present to your honor. It's just as I thought. And what is that, your honor? I'm sure were we under normal circumstances, these items from Shelley the Killer's hideout would be very important clues. However, our question is not who did the killing. It is who is the client. Yes, that is correct. And these 3 items do not tell us anything about that. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may step down now. Wait, Your Honor. Please allow me to examine this new evidence. Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict. Wonderful. Absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? Is this the end? Phoenix. I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far. You can't give up now. But, no matter how you think about it, it's... Try. For my sake. Just think about it for a second. There are two ways out of this situation for us. Two? The first. Make on guard wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict. Huh? The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If Unguard himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostage go. That may be true, but that's asking me to do the impossible. The second way. Force the killer to end his contract with Unguard. If the killer were to no longer think of Unguard as his client, then he would let Maya go. Mia! That's even more impossible! He is a man who values his duty towards his clients above all else. I know both of these seem like impossible feats at first, but if you could make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. The bigger problem is, the judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. The pieces he was just shown, he's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what has always worked for us? The other side? Wait, does she mean... You mean to turn things around? Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence. The defense, prosecution, and the judge. We have seen all the pieces of evidence, and that is how we have come to know the truth. But there is one person who has yet to see them all, and that person does not know the truth. That truth, it may be what will bring about the miracle in the end. There are no objections this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict. Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids?
Objection!
I have already told you, Mr. Wright. This court does not need any more evidence. I am not saying it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor. Then you want to show the evidence to that person? Yes, Your Honor. So we're gonna save here, because I want to do this a bit differently here. See, this is one of those few games that have a good and bad ending. I want to show the bad ending first. Please, Your Honor, it's a right for you to ask with such passion. I will grant you one chance. One chance. Please show your evidence who you think is the right person. That's impossible! To turn this situation around in one try. One try. That is all I will permit. I have to try to remember everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think! There must be a way to save Maya while taking on guard down at the same time. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. I'm saving it in every time we see this, so, yeah. Who would you like to show evidence to? See, the obvious answer... We're gonna play along with this for a little bit. We're gonna show it to Shelly the Killer. I see. And now, tell this court what one piece of evidence you would like to show this person. Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Uh, um, I don't have anything to say to this. How about you, Miss Von Karma? Well, I was just shot, so... I'm afraid I cannot allow the defense to continue. What? No one understands what you are talking about anymore. Wait, please, one more chance. That is enough, Mr. Wright. I will now state my verdict. This court finds the defendant Matt Guard not guilty. That is all. This court is adjourned. And just like that, the case came to an end. I ran away from the courtroom and wandered the streets alone. I never saw Maya again. The killer is a man of his word, so I'm sure he released her as promised. I heard the verdict of Miss Andrews' trial a few days later. She was found guilty, of course. The miracle never happened. Maybe it was never meant to. Because a miracle is something that doesn't exist. Now, that was the bad ending. And because we also get a trophy for that. Yes, you actually get a trophy for getting the bad ending. But there's a reason why I saved there. Because then we can do the actual ending here. So I was correct in that you need Shelly the Killer. And the second piece of evidence is the videotape. Well, what do you... Wait, what? That's not the tape? Oh, okay. Okay, I thought this was the ending again, I'm sorry. Oh, I love how they kind of get you with that. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you think? I think there's some merit in showing this evidence to that witness. Bailiff, please bring in the transceiver from earlier. All right. It looks like I managed to convince him. Maya, she's okay, right? Didn't I tell you to concern yourself with Brennan about a speedy end to this trial? Now, if I understand correctly, you wish to show me one piece of evidence. Yes, one is all I need. I have here a videotape. It was found in your hideout. I heard you injured 3 officers in your attempt to get this back. That was most regrettable. However, it was an order from my client. I was told to protect that videotape. I thought so. I'm afraid I seem to have failed in that regard. Do you know the contents of this tape? I was sternly told by my client to not watch it, so I have absolutely no idea. Actually, you are on this tape. Me? There was a video camera hidden at the crime scene. Your actions were being recorded. What? Is that true, Mr. Wright? Who? Who was it that planted the camera? Well, the only person who could have placed the camera at the scene of the crime would be your client, naturally. That was Adrian Andrews. Be quiet and listen, Your Honor. Yes, sir. Your client specified a place and time for you, isn't that right? Yes. That was so they could film you. I had no idea. Mr. Wright, why would my client do such a thing? I would like to know why. Why did Madam Guard film the crime scene? The reason why he did it is that my client took it out of this whole mess. There's only one reason why your client would typically film the crime scene. They wanted to blackmail you. Your client once told me something very interesting. We were talking about you and this is what they said. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. Yes, that's where the video comes in. With that, I can keep him at bay and even blackmail him if I want. Your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say to that, Shelly the Killer? Oh! It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning. Yes, by a natural. That is the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks and plots of how to use the people around them to protect themselves from any and all dangers that may arise. That is the true nature of your client. I have one question for the witness. Yes? You told us one thing numerous times during your testimony. You said that you detest traitors most of all. Yes, that's right. But what if that traitor was your own client? What would you do then? That's obvious. I would break our contract in that case. And then that client would become my next target. For the honor of the killer name, even if it takes an eternity, I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment. I see. That's all I wanted to know. So the traitor becomes the killer's next target. Ah, I get it. This is how we'll turn this case around. Mr. Wright. Yes? My contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item. What the? I'm not an item! Maya, I thought I'd never see you again. Oh, thank goodness! This trial appears to have come to its conclusion. However, I am sort of... I don't quite know what just happened there with the client and the witness and... Yeah! Miss Von Karma, where did that... She always has you in her sights. Now, I do believe it's time to finally hand down a verdict. Oh, look at it. Not so confident anymore now, are you, Mr. Unguard? You asshole motherfucker. Mr. Unguard. It looks like somehow you got what you wanted. You will finally receive the acquittal you wanted so badly. You should be happy. But before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometime in the near future, one very betrayed assassin may appear before you. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you would understand what I mean if you watch this video. Help me. Now then, Your Honor, the verdict, if you please. Is this alright with you, Mr. Wright? We have finally reached the end of a very long battle. Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there is no escape for him now. Go on, Phoenix. Plead whichever way your heart tells you. Right, Chief. You know, this is a very interesting case, right? This is a very interesting thing. Because we know he's just as guilty as Shelly the Killer for what happened to Corina. But at the same time, he is such an asshole. You want to see him get his just desserts. And ultimately, it doesn't really matter because the same result is going to happen anyway. Personally, we get one less. See, either way, it's not going to matter. Congratulations, Mr. Man on Guard. Please make sure to savor every moment of what little time you have left. Your Honor, as always, the defense pleads not guilty. Very well. This court finds the defendant man on guard. Hold it! Please wait. What's the matter? If I get a not guilty, I'll be killed. Huh? I'm No! Together! As always, it looks like we have uncovered the real truth. We? I don't remember you helping out much in this. Mr. Edgeworth, how is Matt on guard? I have left Miss Von Karma in charge of his incarceration. I'm sure he's getting a full-course meal of whipped leather right about now. Very good. That was a close one, wasn't it, witness? Yes. I plan to pay my debt to society for my own crime, Your Honor. The first time I was called to the witness stand during this trial, all I felt was despair. She must be talking about the time Edgeworth really went after her. I guess she's trying to forgive him for what he did. This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. If you're going to say you would choose death, then that is of no concern to me. But after that, when I was alone at the detention center, that's the first time I really saw myself for who I am. And today, when the two of you used your combined strength to convict Matt, I felt like I had finally been saved. Hey! Look at that smile. You gotta love it, man. Wow, this is the first time I've ever seen her smile. I am really happy that you two are in charge of this case. I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I felt comfortable with myself, with who I am. Thank you so much, everyone. Shut up. Oh yes, my girlfriend is an in-game character. That makes so much sense. In technical terms, because this is in Japan, the technical term would be, if you really wanted to go there, she would be the waifu. But I ain't saying anything on that matter. Thank you so much, everyone. It looks like we have resolved everything at last. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about. But everyone seems to be in good spirits, and that is good enough for me. That is all. This court is adjourned. March 23rd, 5:14 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. You were great out there, Phoenix. What I did out there was right, wasn't it? This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. You got them a guilty verdict this time. But you have to look past all of that to what's really important. You now realize that there is something more than just getting a not guilty, right? Yes, I understand now. Phoenix, think back for a second. Think to the moments before Miss Von Karma arrived at the final pieces of evidence. Think about the incredible decision you had to make. Yep. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. Should I side with justice? Or should I save Maya's life? My client, Madame Guard, is he guilty or is he not guilty? Those were your choices then, and your answer. Your answer spoke to what being a lawyer means to you. Right! Edgeworth, I have good news. Maya is now safe in police custody. Really? Pearls, you're telling us the truth, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, she's quite safe. She is on her way here as we speak in a patrol car. Ah, Mr. Oh, look at that smile. Oh my god. She is so freaking happy. You did it. You really did it, Mr. Nick. Ah, she punches deceptively hard for a kid. I believed in you. I kept saying to myself, Mr. Nick will save her. Mr. Nick will save her. What? I am not doing the fake crying, but you can see she's crying right here. Thanks. Oh! What's wrong? Miss Von Karma. About earlier. Thanks. Ow! Why are you still smiling, Mr. Phoenix Wright? You lost! Your perfect win record has now been crushed. And yet, you are still happy? I don't think you'll ever understand, Miss Von Karma. How dare you? How dare you? Don't worry. She may in time. After all, I was like that myself until a year ago. Edgeworth? For my own personal victories, and for guilty verdicts. I used every dirty trick in the book, and so my win record remains spotless. But a man appeared and stood fast against the selfish me. I fought him in my usual manner, and tasted my first defeat. I felt like I had lost everything because of that. And then... Yep, I remember that. It was my turn to sit in the defendant's chair. And I was saved by that person I called my enemy. I couldn't forgive myself for all that had happened, so I left the prosecutor's office. And I left that note. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death. As well you should have. A prosecutor who has shamed himself with defeat should crawl into a hole and die. But that was not what happened. After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something. And it was in that moment of clarity, everything began to change. What foolish nonsense! We prosecutors use anything we can to attack the defendant. But every time we did so,
Objection!
no matter how desperate the situation, instead of giving up like most people, that man would hold strong with his undying faith. And then, before I knew it, I began to trust in that man as well. What? You trusted your enemy? It doesn't matter how many unintended tricks a person does or uses. The truth will always find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do is to fight with the knowledge we hold and everything we have, erasing the paradoxes one by one. It's never easy. We claw and scratch for every inch. But we will always eventually reach that one single truth. This I promise you. The truth. Yes, that's the reason why prosecutors and defense attorneys exist. But I'm sure you knew that already, didn't you, Wright? That's why you couldn't forgive me. This man who went into hiding. Isn't that right? This man who only had his sights set on victory, who ran away into the night. Ah! Is Mr. Edgeworth right, Mr. Nick? You really let me down. When you disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in the things you said to me all those years ago. And you betrayed your own words. That's why, 1 year ago, I made up my mind. I decided that the Miles Edgeworth I knew had died. At least that's what I told myself. You pathetic fool! Miss Von Karma, I don't want to hear the wretched whimperings of a disgraced loser. A Von Karma is someone who is destined to be perfect. Miles Edgeworth, you are no longer worthy. You are no longer worthy of being a Von Karma. And neither am I. It's over. It's all over! Franziska threw something on the ground just now. This is an electromagnetic receiver. Isn't that the thing she used to track Detective Gumshoe? I'll return this to the precinct later. There's something else. Ah, isn't that Miss Von Karma's whip? I'll never set foot in another courtroom again. I'm sure that's what she's saying by this action. You should keep this, right? Okay. Nick! Maya! Mr. Maya! Mr. Maya! The happiest of reunions you will ever see in a video game. Ever. Oh, Nick, I knew you would come through. You got on guard convicted like I knew you would. And on top of that, you even rescued me. Well, of course I did. You know I would never desert you. But we sure pressed our luck this trial. You're really lucky to be standing here. Whatever, whatever. Look, it's over, okay? Besides, if I did croak, I would just come back and haunt you like a bad ghost through Pearly. Is it really that easy to do something like that? Thanks a lot, Nick. Don't mention it. Maya. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm relieved you're alright. Hey, it looks like you've made some real progress, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, I suppose I'm a little different from who I was a year ago. Oh, someone's hungry. Understandably so. Alright, I think it's time we got out of this depressing place. Huh? Where are we going? Food, Nick! Food! Grub! Chow! I'm starved! I'm so hungry, even you look like a nice juicy burger on a bun to me, Nick. You think I look like a burger? I'm a prime rib at least. Come with us, Mr. Edgeworth, please! If you insist. Alright, so how about we hit up our usual burger joint? Don't be silly, Nick. Huh? This case messed up that awesome evening and got in the way of my gourmet food. So I decided that we have to make it up by having another feast. Another feast? Come on, Nick, food! March 23rd, 7:38 p.m. Gatewater Hotel, hotel lobby. Hey, pal. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. Gumshoe, are you alright? Yeah, but I'm really embarrassed. I didn't think I would hit a telephone pole of all things. A telephone pole? Then it wasn't a red light that got him? You did it again, city boy! I felt like my dear old heart was gonna give out on me, and I ain't joking. Yeah, it was more exciting than the very last episode of The Steel Samurai. Thanks. Now looky here, Mr. Snooty Prosecutor. Don't you reckon you bullied Mr. Wright too hard? If you don't start being a lot nicer to him, he might just kick it. Tonight even. I'll keep that in mind. Well, come on now, everyone gather round. Y'all are gonna get your pictures taken by a genuine professional photographer. Looks like Lana bought herself a new camera. Well, pal, at least we can put this messy case behind us now. Come on, it's all about eating. So let's go chow down, pal. Amen to that, pal. Amen. You know, when you think about it, you were the one who saved the day, detective. Huh? Me? You really think so? He's right. If it wasn't for the 3 items you took, I think this trial would have had a very different ending. Ah, well, you know, it's... Huh? Wait. That's odd. When I ran out for the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. What? 4? Yeah, I'm sure I put one of the items in my coat pocket. There was a 4th item? Oh, come on, y'all, it's over. But boy, I tell you, you really are something else. Between getting accused of murder and getting kidnapped, never a dull moment with you, huh? You think? Why does she look so happy about that? But being shut away for 2 whole days, weren't you scared? Yeah, it was really scary. I felt so hopeless. So to keep my mind off of things, I drew a picture. Sounds like you had it rough, gal. So where's this picture of yours? Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see Mr. Meyer's picture. You know, I don't know where it went. You're really asking... Okay, let me say this nicely. Because I am a man, my voice is so deep and so nasally that I cannot do a girl's voice to save my own skin. So I'm trying to lighten my... I'm trying, even though it may not be the best, I'm trying to lighten my, pitch my tone a bit higher. So that way it sounds more girly, even if it still sounds like my voice trying to be a girl. Alright? I had this question once before, and I'm gonna give the same answer. every time someone asks me. It's actually the second time I've had this question asked. Oh, that's too bad. Well, it's alright. It wasn't anything important anyway. Ah. It sure is nice to finally see them both smiling again. What? What is it, Edgeworth? This thing is picking up something up. Ah! That's Miss Von Karma's receiver! I swear I had the most awful experience of my life, sir. I can't believe she stuck a tracking device on me. That's odd. Even though you're standing right here, the tracking device seems to be in a different location. Oh, it's probably busted or something, sir. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm afraid it's about time for me to excuse myself. I still have some work to do. Huh? But Mr. Edgeworth, you haven't even eaten anything yet. And you've eaten way too much, you glutton. I had fun tonight. Now if you'll excuse me. Wait. What? I just want to say thanks, Edgeworth. You really saved me out there. If anyone should be saying thanks, it should be me, right? I feel like words alone aren't enough here. I wonder if there's anything I can give him to express how I feel. If I remember correctly, and I'm gonna double check just to be sure, you gotta give him her whip. Oh yes, I am absolutely right. And there's a reason why you're gonna be giving him the whip. What's this? Thank you. It's all thanks to you two. You and her. You don't need to thank me. I was only doing my job. It looks like Mr. Edgeworth has left, Mr. Nick. Hey, Mr. Maya. Yes, Pearly? I guess you two can go back to me. Oh my god. You know what? Yeah. She would go back to this. I guess you two can go back to being lovey-dovey, right? You and Mr. Nick, I mean. Pearly, would you cut it out already? You're embarrassing me! Anyway. So who's paying for this lovely dinner party? As if you need to ask. Everyone say thank you to Nick. Huh? Oh yeah, I'm kinda at the point where I can't even buy instant noodles, pal. So I kinda already put your name on the bill. Huh? Yeah, I got me a situation just like that myself. There's this camera shop in this hotel, see? And I just bought myself this good old beauty here. I'd be better anyhow for $3,000. Huh? Actually, I reckon you bought it for me since it's on your tab and all. Isn't this great, Mr. Nick? Yeah, Nick? Why do I suddenly feel like screaming? Aw, you don't need to hold back now, you hear? Yeah, pal. Time to let it all out. This is gonna be the first time I hear the real you. Go on, it's been a while since I heard you say it. I've been busy being a hostage and all. Alright then, if you say so.
Objection!
Planning scriptor. So this is Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. You really came through for me, Nick. I had to hide that letter, but I knew you'd find it. I really feel like I've been living on the edge lately. I mean, I've escaped death 3 times now. Pretty cool, huh? I feel like a pro. A game that is very much improved over the game that came out previously. I'm so happy that you could save Mr. Maya, Mr. Nick. And I'm so happy for the two of you. speaking of which, I think this hotel is a popular place for honeymooners. So I sort of made reservations for the two of you just to... Oh my god. She would do that. And what a game this really was. I enjoyed this game very, very much. It's crazy. Well, pal, it looks like I'm back on the force again. Mr. Arthur had a long time with the chief, and he got me reinstated for my sake. I already said things like letting out one go is bad for all of society. I knew it, crashing headlong and everything. It's the only way to live, pal. I will go on the record to say that the case that we just played is probably the best case of the game, but after the sixth character, I'll say which one I think was the worst one for the game. I, Maggie Bird, am retiring this uniform as of today, sir. I'm going to be a waitress from now on. And bring smiles and joy to the people who come by the restaurant, sir. I hope you'll stop by sometime, Mr. Wright. Alright, and the worst case for me, outside of the first case, but it was because it was a tutorial, is indeed Turnabout Big Top, and I'll tell you why here in a little bit.
Oh yes, are you here to visit a patient? I'm Director Honey, recently, yes. That girl, you know I haven't seen her around, yes. But I remember if I even laid so much as an eye on her, it'd go crack, It doesn't matter if I got root though, yes,
Because the big problem I had with that case was that it was very convoluted and you had to figure things out, even if it didn't make any sense. Speaking of which, it's time to begin our quest to World Circus Domination, sweetie. And to let the world know we are serious, I plan to make a fabulous flight to Zimbabwe. Hey Max, what do you think Zimbabwe is like? Do you think there are castles made of cake and bunnies who can talk? I think if there are any talking bunnies, even they won't laugh at most jokes. But let's see. You also had Turnabout Reunion and Turnabout. Hold on a second. I'm ready. There's no need these jokes gonna fall on deaf ears. I'm gonna be more contemporary with my humor. Both curls are represent. We got a new act all worked out. Prepare for the Hallelujah chorus. Say something, will you? You're supposed to start this off. Get on with it. And honestly, that's probably the second best case of the game. It's weird how the two best cases of the game involve Maya, you know? Everybody agrees with that. What's this? Right, it's just an ordinary relative. I can't believe this, really. How long do they plan on making me do this? Ah, but it says he puts ideas, so that means it must be a deep hidden meaning. But, why do I get the feeling they wouldn't forget about me, would they? Ah, it was never like this in the old days. Oh, without the world of me, they used to call me Queen Wendy. Yes. And then you had the first case, which was a bit more difficult than the first game, if you ask me. So it's going to be curious to see how the third game's first case is going to be. I appreciate everything you and Mr. Edward did for me. I missed that whole bit, so we'll read it off of this here. Yeah. I really appreciate everything you and Mr. Edward did for me from the bottom of my heart. Oh, that's right, I received a letter from Miss Von Karma. She said that after I got out, I should feel free to consult anything. I'm really thankful to have met everyone. It is good. Alright. Oh. And that thing's broken down. I heard that. It has become difficult for me in this country as of late. As such, I will take a short leave of absence. If you would like to request my services, please be sure to visit my homepage. They both be blessed with longevity. Alright, and now for the post-credits scene. March 23rd, 9:42 p.m. International departures, Gate 12. Where are you going, Franziska? How did you know I was here? With this? That's... I heard you were planting things on a certain person. Things like tracking devices in his coat, for example. That's just like you. I only planted it there because he was always wearing it. This filthy drab coat of his. I don't know how it ended up in my luggage. But it's going in the trash, I promise you that. Oh, that's right. Speaking of that man, he told me something very interesting. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. 4 things? It seems he put the last one in his coat pocket. He put it in here? It doesn't matter anymore. The case is already over. What are you going to do now? That's none of your business. Are you running away? Shut up! You don't understand a thing. You can't possibly understand what it means to be Manfred von Karma's daughter. Franziska. So many expectations from everyone around me. Expectations I must fulfill. I'm expected to win no matter what. And failure? Such a thing is not an option for me. My father was a genius, there's no doubt about that. But me, I'm no genius. I've always known that. But I had to be one. I had to. You may not be a genius like your father, but you are a prosecutor. You have and always will be. No, I'm not. Not anymore. I've even thrown my whip away. Speaking of that, Wright gave me this to hold on to. Right. You knew something like this would happen, didn't you? I'm going to say this again. We prosecutors do not fight for personal honor or pride. I hope you will think deeply about what you should be striking down with that whip. You haven't changed a bit. You've always left me alone and walked on ahead without me. Miles Edgeworth, I've always hated you. And then, finally, my chance to take my revenge on you arrived. If I could win against that man, if I could make Phoenix Wright bow down in defeat, then this girl you left behind would have risen higher than you. That was supposed to be my revenge. I see. You know, I can't do it. I can't change who I am. I can't throw away everything I've been until today. I believe you can. Just like how Adrian Andrews did. Adrian Andrews? You were going to use her during the trial, right? But you were dependent on your father by using his tactics. Isn't that right? Today, you chased after me after I had left you behind all these years. And that's why we are standing here now, side by side. But I have no intention of stopping. If you say you are going to quit your walk down the prosecutor's path, then this is where we part ways. Franziska von Karma. I am Franziska von Karma. Don't think I'm going to walk in your shadow forever. Our battle begins now. So you had better prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth. Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright. One day, someday, I'm sure we'll meet again in battle. Until then, this last piece of evidence that never made it to you, I'll take good care of this fourth piece, so I can give it to you when at last we meet again. So in case you guys are wondering, I feel like this is Franziska von Karma talking here. Also, we just finished this game. Oh, what's it doing? Ah, okay. So, we just finished up. So here's what I'm thinking. Based on the fact that they've re-released all these games here, the Phoenix Wright Trilogy, the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy, and the Ace Attorney Investigations Trilogy, I would not be surprised if Capcom is working on a new, possibly final, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney game, or an Ace Attorney game in general. And I say possibly final, because, you know, this is a whole big story. And I would not expect, and I would expect them, if they're going to end it on one final game coming out at some point, I would think they would be pulling out all the stops in this game, in that game. Probably making it literally the biggest Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney game ever. It's going to be very interesting, though, if that is the case. I'll be very surprised if I actually call it right, you know what I mean? But anyway, so that was Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. Next time on Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy, we'll be taking a break from this game, obviously. But next time, whenever I get back to this game, I'll be starting Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. But for now, I'm going to take a bit of a quick break. I will be taking a quick break. I'll be coming back on here in about 15 minutes, I guess, to play Phoenix Wright, the Ace Attorney Investigations. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. Hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, this is Forrest Walpole, signing off.